Hey there guys, it's Tristan Bond here from Practice Acceleration and we are recording episode number 84 of the Practice Acceleration podcast. Sarah, are we live?
Yes, I think we're live. Anthony, are we live?
We're live, guys.
Hey guys, if you guys are there, type in hi so we'll know that we're all working and we're all ready to roll.
We are up and away, and if you're listening to this in the car, then you're listening to the version that was taken from the recording of the live stream on our Facebook page. If you want to check that out in the future, probably not a good idea to watch and drive, unless of course you're in the passenger seat and someone else is safely driving you. Otherwise, in the future, make sure you check us out on Facebook when you are safely seated. And I think that'll make it one hell of an experience. So Sarah, we've got a really cool episode lined up today. What are we talking about?
Yeah, really pumped. We're showing you the 5-step staff review system, and we have recently, over the last 4 weeks, really done this with our team. We do it every single quarter.
Yes.
It's actually a common topic in our Facebook community. When it comes to the end of the quarter, everyone's like, what are we meant to do? I'm meant to have staff reviews, but I'm not really sure what I'm meant to do with them. So we thought, let's just bottle it up into a podcast episode for everyone, and I would just love to get into it.
Absolutely. So if you guys are about to run quarterly reviews, or if you'd like to learn how to run them properly for next time, please type in review just beneath here and you'll soon see that you're actually in fantastic company.
Type in review, or I'd love to know, do you currently do quarterly reviews right now? Let us know. We'd love to hear you guys in the chat box. We love to have a lot of fun and get engaged in here.
We will circle back and answer any of the questions you pop in there. So let's dive in.
Let's dive in. Like I said, the end of the quarter is a really great time to really reset your goals for yourself as a company. We always do our goals. We have our off-site. We have our quarterly off-site that we do all the time. And then we come back and we do reviews with our team as well. It's a really great way to get everyone on the same page, reset and realigned, and you can set a lot of behavior standards and what it really looks like moving forward. The problem I see though, Tristan, and you probably see it a whole lot of time, is that most people don't do staff reviews at all.
Not well anyway.
They don't do it well, or they just don't meet with their team frequently enough. So when they do come into a review, most of the time the problem is they're saying, pay me more money.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
The team member's like, I'm going in because I'm doing amazing, my performance is amazing, I should get paid more. And then the owner is like, this person is not performing, they're not reaching their goals, and they're kind of not on the same page. You're
thinking that you're going to give them an attitude realignment, and you end up walking out having given them a pay rise for being off track. It's like you can lose control of that quickly. So first and foremost, I want to state that in order to do a 90-day review, a quarterly review, it's really important that you actually have a system that you use on a weekly basis. So we actually do use a scorecard system for everyone in our team, for that matter, in terms of both KPIs, KPAs, and cultural standards and behavioural standards that we measure and monitor every single week. By doing that, it means that we can run a quarterly review, and the best part is that when we do it and we get our team to measure where they're at versus where we think they're at, it's very closely aligned, isn't it?
Yes, all the time we're pretty much on the same page, because every single week we're meeting, we're having our one-to-ones, we're going, hey, are you hitting your KPIs? Are you upholding our values? So when we go to the review, it's not something crazy, we're all pretty much on the same page.
Yeah, that's right. So that's why it's so important to run scorecards. But if you go into a quarterly review and you're not actually scoring things, then what's going to happen is you don't have any objective measures to actually look at, hey, here's where you're at, here's where we want you to go. And all that ends up happening is one or two things happens. Number one, the person you're reviewing what they want to pay rise, or they want to complain to you. Or secondly, number two, you end up just socializing and saying, oh yeah, we should work on that. There's nothing really objective or structured about it. So there is, however, an amazing opportunity for you to turn your business around. Let's tap into that.
Yeah, there's an amazing opportunity when you do have reviews in place, is that you can get really great commitment from your team moving forward. You can all get really aligned. You can go in and set the standards. Hey, this is how it's going moving forward, and these are the standards I expect of you in terms of results, but also in terms of behaviors. And this is a really great time as well to work out role clarity. Every single quarter, we review all of our roles, what everyone on the team is working on.
Our own roles. We review absolutely everything.
We review the team structure every single quarter so that everyone is always clear on their role moving forward. And of course, this allows us to do, last of all, to announce any new policies moving forward with the team. It's just a really great environment to do all of those things, so great opportunity. To make sure you're totally aligned.
Yeah, an opportunity to really lift your standards. No matter how well everyone is doing, this is your opportunity to here's your new benchmark, boom, now we're going to be shooting for this. You can bring up anything that you like, but it's super structured, and that's why we use a 5-step 90-day team review process. So I'd love to unpack this for everyone, go really quickly at it.
Yeah.
But if you want to learn how we do it, and I'm going to show you the simple way, the 5-step way. If you want to learn it, just type in hell yes into the feed beneath here. And that way we will know that you want it. Type in hell yes. We'll give you a moment to do that.
Type in hell yes, guys, into the comments. And then we know that we're going to give it to you. We're going to unpack it. And we've got a little secret to share with you guys at the end of this as well.
So hang around for that.
So stick around. Looks like everyone's wanting it, Tristan. So
awesome.
Let's dive in. You got the first one you can start with.
Lucky me. So the first thing that I think that you need to do, or in fact I know that you need to do before you actually go into your 5-step 90-day review, is you actually need to provide the paperwork. There is some step-by-step paperwork where you review all the parts of your team member's role. You need to actually provide that to them at least an hour before the review. It's going to take them a good 30 minutes to actually fill it in themselves. And the reason that we do that is we want to go through a self-rating. We want everyone on your team to actually self-rate. I like to do that because I think it's really empowering. Your team member can write down where they're going well, and we'll go into that more in a moment. But it's really important that you actually understand where your team members actually think, how they think they're performing, and then we can mark down how you think that they're performing as well. Then, of course, obviously, after we do that, we then meet with them at a diarised time, but give you each team member at least 30 minutes to fill in their self-review, but they're filling that out based on your questions. That's really important.
And I always do it on the day. I put it in their diary. I don't let them take it home and think about it for days or anything.
First thought responses.
That's why I condense it down to a really small time frame. 30 minutes, you've got 30 minutes to complete this at this time, and I need it back by this time, so then I can go through it as well. Because if you give people all of this time, they're never going to do it.
Time's a vacuum.
Yeah.
100%. So what do we do next?
All right, so point number 1 is let's unpack what the 5-step system looks like.
Yeah, let's look at the first part.
The first part of the review, we always look at the biggest wins you've had for the last 90 days. So we list off their top 4 to 5 wins. Obviously, they do it themselves, and then you review and you agree on the wins that you've had with them. And I just love doing the wins because it's good to reflect on the wins that you've had in the past, because it is great to start off on a good mood in your review.
I think so too.
Yeah.
This is about progressing forward. Like, we want to celebrate wins and then create even more wins moving into the future. So that's a great point. That's how we always start off. Number 1 is looking at the wins. Number 2, then we actually start getting into like questions that are specific to this person's role. So obviously, with every person's role, there will be KPIs that a person needs to have reached. You know, are they actually hitting these standards? And we'll have KPIs written down that are very specific to their role. Obviously, based on the person's role, they're going to be different, aren't they?
Totally different depending on the role in the business, depending if you're reviewing, say, a practitioner, they're going to have different KPIs versus, say, a front of staff.
Exactly, versus a manager or a team leader as well. So we have a list of the KPIs that you have set for this person to reach within their role in order to be successful. And secondly, we're obviously going to look at what we call the KPAs. Now, the KPA is a key performance action. I've said this 1,000 times, I'll say it again. There's no point in measuring a KPI if you don't measure the actual KPI. The KPI is how we achieve that KPI. So we'll list off the actual objective standard, the how that someone needs to have actually carried out and successfully met so that they can reach that KPI. So we list those off as well. Yeah. Ultimately, we're talking about what does success really look like, right?
Exactly right. What does success look like in the role? We do have a little rating scale that we go through as well, so we can show you that in the show notes as well. But the rating scale really is development, unsuccessful, development needed, successful, above expectations, and exceptional. And trust me, not many people get exceptional at all. Even we rate ourselves the hardest we can possible because we know there's always another level to hit.
We're not dishing out exceptionals. We're not dishing out number 5 very often at all.
Yes, so they're the rating scale. So make sure...
Be firm.
Be firm. That's number 2. Review their role, review their KPIs and their KPAs to make sure they're really nailing it and hitting them as well. So that brings me to point number 3.
Yes, this is a big one.
Number 3, I love this. And we do this every single week, so it's not a shock for anyone. We review everyone on our core values, upholding every single core value.
Yes.
We've got 12 that we go through in ours. We rate on it every single week. So it's not just a word that we have on the wall. We say, hey, are you upholding our values, every single value, and we rate it. So the scale really is, we rate green means you're upholding it all the time, which is awesome. We've got the yellow, which is neutral. Sometimes uphold it, sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
And then finally is red, you don't uphold it, and improvement and development is needed.
Yeah, so that's really valid that we actually talk about this now, because here is when we talk about like the actual like behavioural standard, really, because we want obviously to make sure that someone's hitting a KPI, and they make sure they're also upholding the KPA, which is really the method to get the KPI. But we also want to make sure that they're behaving in a way that you'd be really proud of to actually represent your brand.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important that we do this, and we're really hung up on the cultural values. So we really hone in on this, and certainly you don't want to see any reds cropping up. Otherwise, that's the other good thing you can do with these reviews is you can now look at the behavior and go, well, actually, we really need a big turnaround here. That person may not actually be on your team in 90 days' time.
Yeah, and that really allows you to iron out the toxic high performer.
Yes.
Because someone could be rating really high on KPIs and KPAs. They're really hitting their goals, but their attitude in their business, they're not upholding it. They're affecting other people. They're quite negative. This is how you can iron it out with a team player.
It's a formal opportunity to have that discussion. Second to last, number 4 is skill set. So here's what we focus on is, well, if this person is to achieve even better results in the next quarter, then what skills do they either need to, one, adopt and like learn, or improve upon so that they can bring even greater value to themselves, to your team, to your patients, your community, and of course, your company. Now, we go through that and we set those standards, and then we go really deep and we look at, well, in order to do that, what is the professional and personal development that each team member needs to work on? And then we'll go into step number 5. We'll cover that in more detail. But it's really important. We can't just say, hey, here are the skills you need. We go, here are the skills you actually need to be successful. And here is how we're going to help you to do that. When you focus on this, then you'll be able to achieve that. So we make it very logical and achievable, don't we?
Very logical. And trust me, every single person will need to have new skills that they're learning, behaviours that they're working on.
Yeah, absolutely. Even at the executive level. So I focus on this with Sarah. We go, look, here is Sarah's development roles in terms of skill for the next quarter, and she'll do the same for me. Then we have a development plan as well, which brings us actually to point number 5.
Yeah, that brings me to the final point. You need to have an action plan. At the end of the review, you're going to pull it all together in a list of actions that the team member can really go and execute. We set specific deadlines that we want to see changes in everything moving forward.
Yes.
You need to have this goal, this outcome by that date to make sure that we're really hitting our goals. This is the support and the professional development that you need to really get there. And we always organise a follow-up at least 1 month later with our team member, but we're doing it every single week. Hey, every single week, are you hitting these are your goals? How are you going with them? Any support you need from me? And then we take it down to every single day.
Yes.
We're reviewing it.
This is a game changer, total game changer.
In our morning routine, we're reviewing. These are my goals for the quarter. Yep. So it's front of mind all the time.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people, they do go through this process, Sarah, and they say, well, here's our 90-day goals. Then they forget in between, don't they?
Yeah. They don't review on it. They don't do anything. And it comes around to the next 90 days and they go, how come my team members didn't hit their goals? And you're only reviewing every 90 days. No wonder you're not hitting your goals.
So what this does is it creates a huge amount of intention around the shift that you want to create. That's why it's so important, like Sarah said, every single day to be going through in our morning routine and looking at the actual quarterly goals and skills that everyone needs to develop. There's so much tension and intention created. That's a tongue twister almost. I'm glad I got that out. There's so much tension and intention created around that your results just explode through the roof. But here's what I love about it, is that your team get better in terms of how we work together as a result. Like, we're all collectively just pushing to the next level together. And that's why I love this process so much.
Yeah, I love it too. It's not just individual focus, but everyone together as the team can really reach their goals. And it's just awesome. It's so everyone's aligned, everyone's ready to hit that company goal as well.
Yes. So I think we should go through, I want to summarize these points. Can you guide us through those, please?
Let's go through the 5-step
let's do that.
review process that you can install install into your business. So number one is go through the biggest wins that you've had. Look back on the last quarter, go through the wins for that. Number two is review their role.
Yeah.
What does success look like? What are their KPIs, their KPAs? Make sure that they're really hitting those, or if they're not, what are they going to do to achieve those goals?
Yes.
Number three, this is one of my favorites, is rating them on upholding your core values, making sure that the behaviors are really what you want across your business as well. And number four, review the skill set. What training, what PD do they need to do to really hit those goals? And finally,
the action plan, right?
The action plan. You've got to pull it all together into a plan so they know this is what I need to do in the next 90 days to achieve my goals.
Yes, I love that. So as you listen to those 5 points, which one are you missing right now? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5?
Type it in.
Or is it even maybe like multiples of them, or even all of them? There's no judgment here. We've got a special surprise coming up for you guys. So love to know which part are you actually missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5?
Type it
or
in.
Multiple parts. Type that in. What are you missing? And if you got any questions as we go through, of course, type them in. We'll circle back and answer those
what
later.
are you missing, or what are you excited about adding into your reviews in the next 90 days? Are you excited about adding in any of these elements?
And
Let us know.
And what difference can it make for you as well? Be a total game changer. Game changer for us.
Yeah, it really is. So type that in, guys, and we're going to jump back in and look at the comments after.
Absolutely. So guys, comment below, review if you guys want to get something very special. What should we give these guys?
Yeah, so we're going to give you away our one-page quarterly review that we use here with our team members. A template. So type in review if you'd love to get your hands on that, and then we can hand it out to you as well. But if people are driving in the car, then what you can do is you can head on over to practiceacceleration.com/episode 85. And then we're going to give it to you.
84.
Wrong episode, guys.
That's next week,
That's
85.
next week. I got too excited.
If you go to next week, you need to get something totally different.
Yeah, so head on over to episode 84 and we'll hand that out to you. Or you can jump on the live stream and you can comment review and we'll jump in and give that to you, because it literally is going to be the biggest game changer for you guys.
Yeah, like I remember the exact quarter when we started doing this. It was in the first quarter of last year. We changed up like this, and wow, we exploded. But not just in terms of explosion of results, but so much better energy, commitment, alignment, and accountability. Just so absolute game changer for us. And I know that it will do the same thing for you guys. So if you want to get that, type in review beneath here, or go to practiceacceleration.com/episode number 84. If you've got any questions as well, please pop them underneath here inside the live feed, and we will come back and answer them for you and be of service in the best way possible. But I think we should wrap things up. What do you think?
Yeah, this has been a whole lot of fun.
Yes, well, I've enjoyed it as well. I hope you guys have enjoyed it.
Yeah, hope this was really valuable. If you guys do have any questions, we're going to jump in and answer any questions for you after this.
Yes, so we look forward to doing that. But otherwise, guys, we'll see you next week in episode number 85. Thank you for joining us, and bye for now.
Bye, guys.